It's a very important issue to our congregation. Gracious Spirit, bless this cause. Bless with your love and mercy this movement of people forward into an age of peace and equity. Fill with love the hearts of those who are afraid of something as innocent as the color of someone's skin. Crack the scales from their eyes. Put their fearful hearts at ease, that they may do no further harm with their hands or words. And for those who courageously struggle to create unity in our world, please, God, endow them with a measure of your understanding, how such a division could exist at all, much less continue. We feel so lost. We are afraid of what must be done in order to bring about the love we seek. Give us the fortitude to stand before it unflinching. Please hold in your loving embrace all those who are afraid to speak up against injustice because others around them speak only down. Allow only loving words to escape our lips, even to those who have no love to speak from theirs. Help us to remember our human job is to love our enemies so that they see the error of their ways and transform into something capable of loving us in return. Bless this community of Lancaster, and by extension, the world, to go forward with grace and understanding toward an issue many of us felt no longer truly existed. Our blindness only held us back. Thank you for our present sight. May only good come of it. And finally, bless all those who have suffered under the tyranny of oppression, including those who not only lost their own lives, but those who have lost their friends and loved ones to this fight. May their deaths be not in vain. May their love shine upon us from beyond the veil. And shall we forevermore be at peace. And in the name of justice, we say, Amen.
Amen.
In the name of mercy, we say, Amen.
Amen.
And in the name of love, we say, Amen.
Amen. When she's done reading the names, right? So when she says Trayvon Martin is the last one, we need to wave to win up there.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Sidrola Mariska, and I'm your speaker this evening. I'm a mama of two beautiful humans. My son is 13, my daughter is 9. When my son was about 2 years old, we took him to the Clinton pool. As I put him in the water, I fully expected he'd have some trepidation, take it slow and cautious. Turns out, that was just me. My son dove in like he'd been there before, and it was up to me to pull him out. Every time he dove into the water, he was confident that I'd be there to pull him out. I want to stop here and say, I'm not a very strong swimmer. So there was fear associated with putting my baby in the water. However, very early on, I decided two things. One, I didn't want to project my fears on my children. Two, all questions would be answered truthfully. I had no idea what I was in for. So we're at the pool. My son is challenging my decision to not project my fears right out of the gate. When we get the chance to rest, I turn to my husband, who was on the swim team from 7th grade to 12th grade, and I say, maybe we should get him some floaties or one of those vests that he'll be able to float. And my husband says, no. If he learns to rely on the floaties, he won't develop his ability or confidence to do it on his own. Okay, fine. This is why neither of my children has ever had floaties. They're strong swimmers, and I'm flirting with high blood pressure. Let's fast forward a few years. My son is now 6. He's gonna hate me for sharing this, but I'm a mama, I get to do this. Okay? It's November, December time. We're sitting around the dinner table. Christmas is coming, so my son proudly expresses, I know what I want for Christmas. My husband and I both go, great. What do you want? So that we can tell Nama and Papa and Grandma and Papa. I want vagina. I know, some of you right now are thinking, what's wrong with this lady? Trust me, there's method to my madness. Remember that vow to answer all questions? Yeah. My husband quickly jumps up from the table, walks over to the kitchen, opens the refrigerator, and proceeds to choke himself with laughter. I, on the other hand, got stuck with this revelation and must venture forth solo, straight face. Well, honey, that's not really something you can get for Christmas. It's okay, Mommy. My friend says that's not a bad word, right? No, it's not a bad word, but you can't have it for Christmas. Do not project fear. Answer all questions. When my kids were younger, the questions were innocent, benign. The fears I had were of being able to keep them alive under my care. As I said, my son is 13. Next year, he's going to Neshoba as a freshman. In a few short years, he'll be driving and going out with mostly white friends. So I have to have the talk with him. Not the birds and the bees talk. Not the stay away from drugs talk. It's not even the buckle down and start to consider what you want in life talk. No. I have to talk to my son about how to stay alive and come home to me. You see, we're getting to the stage where I can't be there to pluck him from the water. We're getting to the stage where he's no longer cute. He's a black kid. We're getting to the stage where he's a threat. As a mama who's vowed not to project her fears on her children, it's hard to circumvent this task. Because at the end of the day, all I want is for my son to come home to me. So I need to tell him, don't do everything your friends do, because if there's trouble, you're the first one to get grabbed. If you're stopped or questioned by the police, stay calm, be respectful, and no unauthorized movements. The world will treat you differently because you are black. Be aware. As a mama who's vowed to answer all the questions, I sometimes feel a huge burden to have to answer the ones regarding race. Why can't I do what my friends do? Why won't they get in trouble? because of the perceptions others will have of you, because of the color of your skin? What if I'm stopped for no good reason? Can I ask why? Yes, but always remain calm. Even if you're right, you're not right. Why will the world treat me differently? Because the system of racism that we live in establishes certain norms. How do we fight that? With collective awareness, education, and love. George Floyd is a victim of the system of racism that exists in this country. While he was breathing his last, he cried out for his mama, and all mamas were activated. We were activated because we understood that when a child cries out for his mama, he's in real pain. We knew because we know how hard it is to send our hearts out into the world on a daily basis, praying they'll come back to us safely. Black moms have an added burden. I watched the video in utter horror because in George Floyd's face, I saw my brother, I saw my cousins, I saw my friends, and I saw my son. White mamas, what if we shared that burden? What if you talked to your kids about the part they can play in protecting each other, and especially their Black friends? What if white mothers everywhere also had the talk with their sons and daughters? Don't do things that will put your Black friend's life in the line of fire. If you're stopped while with a Black friend, stay calm. Don't escalate the situation so you can both get home safely. Be aware of the privilege you have that allows you to walk the streets freely and which condemns your friend. Mamas, our babies become children and our children adults. When you instill information early that allows them to see and use their privilege to dismantle the system, you're making a difference. Because the kids of today are the adults of tomorrow. I've been encouraged by the awakening I've seen the past few weeks. 2.5 weeks ago, only George Floyd's family, friends, and acquaintances knew his name. Today, his face graces murals around the world. We watched in horror as he died. We watched as an oppressive force choked out his life, and a 17-year-old girl begged and pleaded for his life while still having the presence of mind to film what she was watching. We heard and registered when he cried out for his mama. This evening, as we remember George Floyd, let's also remember Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna Taylor, Tatiana Jefferson, Botham Jean, Stephon Clark, Jordan Edwards, Keith Scott, Philando Castile, Alton Sterling, Sandra Bland, Walter Scott, Tamir Rice, Mike Brown, Trayvon Martin, and so many other Black humans who've been killed by an oppressive, racist system that doesn't see the value in their Black lives. Let's dismantle the system by teaching our white children not only to be nice, but to be curious. Teach them to think critically and question everything. Teach them to look from the other perspective and embrace difference. Teach them to see color, not to fear it, but to inquire about it. Teach them that talking about race isn't political, it's personal development. As a Black woman, a Black mother, the firstborn child of Haitian immigrant parents, a wife to a white man, and as a citizen of the United States, my experience, the way I see and walk in this world, will always be different from a white woman, a white mother, a child of Native-born parents married to the same race spouse. So please, listen to my cry as I've listened to yours. When I say I'm hurt, don't take it personally. It's not personal. Move away from the feeling of guilt, shame, or whatever other feeling allows you to take it personally and realize that it isn't personal. I don't want to project my fear. I want to answer all questions truthfully. As hard as that is, in every situation, it's the only solution. Please, don't project your fears. And listen and ask all questions truthfully. There's no longer a place for complacency. George Floyd cried out for his mama. All mamas, everywhere, were activated. It's time to do your part. Amazing grace shall always be my song of praise, for it was grace that bought my liberty. I do not know just how he came to love me so. He looked beyond my faults and saw my need. to view the cross where Jesus died for me. How marvelous the grace that caught my falling soul. He looked beyond my faults and saw my need. Amazing grace shall always be my song of praise, for it was grace that bought my liberty. I do not know just how he came to love me so. He looked beyond my faults and saw my needs. I shall forever lift my eyes to Calvary to view the cross where Jesus died for me. How marvelous the grace that caught my falling soul. He looked beyond my faults and saw my need.